Hey everyone, I'm Kelly with the Suburban Dough Box, and today we are making thin and crispy pizzelles. These little waffle-like cookies don't just have to be for the holidays. You can flavor them with anything you want. And today we're making them with vanilla and lemon. Let's get started. So to get started, we're going to beat together some eggs and sugar. And you're just going to use regular granulated sugar, and you want your eggs to be room temperature. And the reason you want your eggs to be room temperature is because you don't want this mixture to be cold, because we're going to be adding some melted butter, and the melted butter will start to get all hard and congealed if you have cold eggs. So that's my little tip. It helps keep your pizzelles a little fluffier too. So we're gonna add the sugar, and then we're just gonna beat this until it's light and fluffy. Okay, so that's mixed pretty well together. You just want it to be a little incorporated and fluffy and no loose egg whites. So we're gonna set this aside. And then in your larger bowl, you're going to whisk together your flour, the salt, which is just a little bit of salt, and the baking powder. And whisk that together. And then to the egg mixture, we're just going to whisk in the vanilla and some lemon zest. Almost the whole lemon, like a small lemon that I zested. And now we're gonna add some of the flour mixture to the egg and whisk that together just to incorporate it a little bit. You don't want to go heavy and dump all the flour into the egg mixture because it's going to make it dense. You want to make sure that you're keeping your pizzelle batter really light and fluffy. So once we have some of the flour incorporated into the egg, we're going to mix it back into the big bowl. And one thing I like about making pizzelles is you don't have to wait for the batter to sit. Some recipes that I make with like a light and fluffy batter, like for crepes or popovers, the batter is best if it sits for a little bit so that the air bubbles can kind of relax. And then we're just gonna mix it in to the flour. And we'll fold that in. And again, the folding technique is best because it keeps your batter light and fluffy. And now we're going to add the melted butter. So this is why you need room temperature eggs, because if your eggs were cold and you put this butter in, it's just not gonna mix well. You can also add the butter in with your eggs and the sugar mixture before you even add it to the flour. Sometimes that's a great option too. Okay, so to make your pizzelles, you're going to need a Pizzelle iron, and you can actually use, they have a stovetop Pizzelle iron that's cast iron and it doesn't plug in, but I really like the electric Pizzelle iron the most. They do have a non-stick Pizzelle iron, but I really prefer the stainless steel or the steel iron, whatever this is, Pizzelle maker to the non-stick. The non-stick, I felt like they don't brown quite as well, so they don't get golden. They're kind of white and pale and not so good. So we're gonna just drop about a tablespoon of the batter right into the center of the hot Pizzelle iron. And these only take about a minute to cook. You don't wanna overfill it, you don't wanna underfill it, but it's better to underfill it than it is to overfill it. And then we're gonna check it in about a minute. The first pizzelles to come off the iron are always the most difficult. After that, we're pretty good to go. But you can see, like this one's stuck, so it's split in the middle a little bit, but the second batch is always better. If you put too much batter on, it could seep out the sides. If you put too little batter on, you're just gonna have a smaller cookie. I'm gonna show you a quick little trick before they cool. We're gonna pluck this off and wrap it around the wooden spoon just to form like a cone. And you have to hold it until it cools. And it'll hold its shape once it cools. And then you have like a little cone that you can fill with like cannoli filling, or you can fill it with ice cream. Make like an ice cream cannoli would be great with some ricotta ice cream. But once it's cooled completely, it'll hold. So you can put it like down that way or not. And then this one, we're just gonna fold in half like a taco. And then you can fill that with fruit and maybe some whipped cream, like homemade whipped cream, and have like a fruit taco, like a little dessert taco. All right, now that our pizzelles are done, you can sprinkle with a little bit of powdered sugar like I did here and enjoy. Take a bite. Super crispy, just the way I like them. With a hint of vanilla, not too sweet. These are the absolute perfect pizzelles. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And for more recipes, visit thesuburbansoapbox.com. Thanks again.